Give me just a second, dude. I gotta get my notes together. I'm so lost right now. This is why I don't come on. I'm the worst guest ever.
I'm going to go ahead and hit record so that we're not missing anything.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Human Target mini-series, and this is a comment about the reviewing rather than the comic itself. But there's a key scene towards the very end of it where these reviewers were talking about it. I didn't understand that particular scene, and I wasn't sure whether or not we're supposed to believe that he's alive or dead. And then by the end of it, they were like, but it's really good though. It's like, it can't be really good if at the end you don't know whether he's alive or dead. Not because of some intentional
ambiguity.
Yeah, it's not intentional ambiguity. There's a scene where you've been thrown for a loop, you don't understand it, I didn't understand it, and when they flagged it, I was like, that's true. Like, I'd sort of written it off because the art's so pretty, but the idea that you can review that and give it like a 9 out of 10, make it like your best comic of the week or whatever, when you actually don't know how it ended, seems fucking bonkers to me.
Well, that it always gets me too, because it's always their comic of the week from the stuff that comes out of Marvel and DC mostly, and maybe a little bit of Image.
Yeah, a little bit of Image, a little bit of Boom.
Yeah. Only the top selling 20 or 30 books are in contention for which one of these is going to be the book of the week. There's never. That's one of the things I liked with some of the fan magazines like Hero Illustrated, where they'd come up with something that was like completely out of left field, some micro publisher, black and white.
Tales from the Swamp, Tales from the Bog. Do you remember that book?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's never that. It's always something from a major publisher, always one of their top-selling books. It's always about commodification of the art rather than whether or not it's actually something, that's adding to the canon, something that's actually, something new under the sun, something that's particularly fantastic, particularly worthy of note. It's just like the best product that is being put out that particular week. That's what I find tedious.
Yeah, I get the sense that they have the time that they have to read, so they read the stuff that sort of courts the interest or whatever, Mm-hmm. And so I sort of see it from a commercial and a sort of time perspective. But it is a shame that we're still in a point in time where it's either the latest Dan Clowes book or something on Fantagraphics, or it's DC Marvel at every mainstream website. I mean, I remember I used to go to Newsarama and CBR on a regular basis, like twice a day, in the morning to see what was out last night. And at this point in time,
had columnists like Augie DeBleek, Stephen Grant. Yeah. You had all these people that were doing quality work because they were getting paid to do it, because there was profit in it at that point in time, instead of it all being this mill now that's generated by AI. But they used to actually provide valuable insight. You used to have people where they would have a personality, and so you would know what they would like, and you know what you like, and you'd have a sense of, well, if they like this or they didn't like this, and that might be for me. Or even if not, they'd have an interesting way of presenting their opinions, so it was worth it to show up for twice a day. Where me, I finally took out my bookmarks for CBR and Newsarama because there was never, I would go, if I tried once a day, there wouldn't be anything worth going. Really, once a week was, not even worth my time at that point.
Yeah. Is there anywhere you go and that panel by panel looks good, right? Have you seen any of that stuff?
I think I've seen some of that. I have to confess that I finally broke down. I wanted a one-stop shop for comic book stuff, so I was bouncing between a few different ones. I still check Heidi McDonald's The Beat, and I finally re-added, after many years of going without, I finally re-added Bleeding Cool after a long time because of them just having sort of a comprehensive pop culture thing. Opinion-wise, columnist-wise, they don't really have anything, but as far as just an aggregator of news stories across popular culture, I finally came back. But I dropped them years ago. I don't like Rich Johnston, but it was a good place to just get an overview of what was going on in the industry at that point. There's a lot of more niche stuff. If you're saying pixel, what is it? Panels? The panels you said it's called?
Panel by Panel is a very nicely designed magazine. It's digital, but they do really in depth. They'll do an issue on a comic or two and deep dive into interview all the different people involved in it and go to different aspects of it. And it's all a bit middle ground. So it's all a bit like the better Image books and Boom books and Dark Horse books, and it's worth looking up. It's a paid thing, and I confess I haven't paid for it yet because I know I haven't got the time to read the thing. But there are several issues dedicated to comics that I've really enjoyed from the last few years that at some point I'm gonna take the plunge on. But panel by panel it's called. It's good. Looks good.
How do you access it? Where is it at?
I think you download DRM'd PDFs or something like that.
So you just go to the website to do this. Then there isn't like a Comixology type of thing where it's
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like PanelxPanel, as in panel by panel.
Yeah, I think I've seen stuff from them in the past, but obviously I haven't gotten a magazine episode yet because I've never downloaded it before. But I've heard it referenced at the minimum.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of thing we complain about not existing, but then because it's digital, it's a bit of a turn-off for me in the first instance. But you see, it's like the best part of an issue dedicated to Old Dog or to Archie, the Good Asian, which is well on my radar, looks good. The Cliff Chang Catwoman, $3.99 for they're quite sizable. My thing is, I reached out to the editor to ask if there was like any chance of like a first one's free somehow. Is there a way that I can get like at least a preview of 20 pages or something? But there's not, so you're sort of limited to taking a punt on a PDF, basically.
Well, I do like how it's got that first 5 years of Comics Journal thing going on where they have mainstream and indie stuff mixed together. They're not segregating them into different camps. Like when Comics Journal basically spun off all the superhero and mainstream shit into Amazing Heroes, and they only wanted to talk about Fantagraphics and Drawn and Quarterly. So I like how everything's. I like how there's a variety of covers with covering different materials. So that's cool.
Yeah, probably worth taking a punt on an issue, and I'll do the same.
Okay.
Do it again. It's funny. What? Do it again.
No, I'm telling you, this is your podcast.
No.
Yes.
Why please? It's our podcast.
Your podcast.
It's our podcast.
You've got the idle head of
my podcast sucks.
It does not suck.
Is lame.
So you tried to say that because the Marvel SHP podcast is different than the Idle Head of Diablo podcast. So that means that this is all of our podcasts and that's yours. And that's bullshit. I told you it's because you have range. You're able to do both. You can do serious and you can do slapstick podcasts, whatever ours is.
I'm the straight man on this podcast.
One setting and it's fuck you.
Fuck yeah!
That's our only setting.
But we need
We're guest stars.
The podcasting world needs that. We need the setting of fuck you. Guys like me are a dime a dozen. There are plenty of guys out there that can talk boring.
Take yourself, motherfucker.
That's that low self-esteem I keep telling you about, man.
It's our podcast. I could not do this podcast without you guys. Okay, it's just simple as that. It wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work.
Right, but that's like, look. This is your podcast. You're Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay, well, I can
George. You need Kramer and George Costanza.
Yeah, absolutely, because Seinfeld's the worst part of Seinfeld.
No, but you can't have. But it's his show.
Honestly, I think you could take Seinfeld out of Seinfeld and you'd still have a good show.
No, you could not.
You need everybody else.
A straight guy. We talked about
yeah. You know what?
George could be the straight guy.
You're the sun in our revolving universe. You keep it steady and straight.
Right.
Me and Mac here, we're all over the fucking place.
But that's good. It's entertaining.
Jupiter and Uranus.
It's just like on my way.
On my way. Spitting out of it a little while ago.
On my way over here, I didn't feel like trying to hook up my tablet to my car's radio because it was all
First world problem.
Right. No kidding.
Shout out to the poor kids in Sri Lanka listening to this.
Yeah, I'm sure that we get a lot of penetration in that market.
Fuck you.
The white male couldn't get his iPad hooked up to his car stereo on the way over here.
Pitiful.
Damn you! No!
The horror.
The gods cursed me. So anyway, it was raining and I didn't want to unpack my connections with my tablet. So anyway, I was trying to find something to listen to, and all my USB shit's all cluttered up with podcast shit now. So I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to listen to any more podcast shit. I'm about to go record podcast shit and time this stuff. And then I found the Patsy Walker episode. Who weren't you two?
Nah, the one we fought.
And I'm just listening to it, and it's like, okay, well, this one I can listen to. This I can jam on the way over to Mac's place. So, because that's the one that entertains me the most still.
No, see, what I do is I play the Isle Head of Diablo podcast backwards.
And there's all kinds of satanic shit coming out of that.
Yeah. I got the messages they're sending.
Sacrifice them all. Their blood is good.
By 1957, John Jones made his first appearance. Satan, eat your family and listen. I'm listening.
We pray to the dark gods.
His first appearance happened 5 years after Mr. Takitani, and
That clown like was going to come back.
Here, Ozzy Osbourne in the background.
My arms bend backwards.
Oh, all of a sudden you see portals from hell opening up in the background.
he has a similar costume to John Carter of Mars, and
Hey, I got a letter in response to that particular comment.
What?
Guy's like, I've been reading Marshmallow comics for 50 years. I never caught that. Wow, really? Shit. Okay, cool.
Caught what?
The Marshmallow's costume is basically the same as John Carter's from the Edgar Rice Burroughs books from the 20s.
he's got the X across his chest.
The bandolier with the
And they're both from Mars.
And that's how interesting that is. He's on our podcast and he's already tuned out of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying.
They're your podcast.
Mr. Fixit could never listen to the Out of the podcast.
They're your podcast.
He would be
could.
bored
Yeah,
shit.
honestly,
You would be bored shitless listening to that podcast.
We did one podcast without you, and granted, we did it behind your back, kind of like as a goof.
And it was terrible.
Dude,
No, it
it was
wasn't.
so hard. Dude,
It was so much better. Actually,
it was so fucking hard for
didn't I
us
have
to
this
do.
conversation?
Dude, how long were we here to do that one little podcast?
I don't know.
Dude, we could not function, dude. When you have two assholes,
It was good. It was fine.
you need the straight guy in the middle.
I've been listening to a lot of the old episodes to work on like annuals and shit, and the worst ones are the ones where we're talking about like current events, like the convention ones, and that shit's
Current
fucking
convention.
boring. But yours, there's nothing wrong with yours
Nah,
podcast.
trust me, dude. We know.
Oh, well,
I listened to it recently.
I think we could-
I had to listen to it because the majority of that podcast is in the annual, so I listened to it. It sounded great. Boy. Anyway,
Now, I get what
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. Well, but me and Mac have always been like that. Like when I pick on you like that, it's not as fun. Like, because you take it way too personal. Like you get angry. For Mac, I can kick him in the face and he'll laugh it off, and he'll kick me in the face and I'll laugh, and we can go at each other. And
I don't know. You guys were kind of pissed at each other over the Patsy Walker episode, though. You guys both were kind of at each other. Like afterwards, you guys would each one of you kind of took me aside. It's like I'm kind of pissed at that guy right now.
Really?
Yeah, both of you did that to me. You were mad at him. I don't know if you remember. You were kind of angry at him.
No, I was annoyed
I think
with-
you
nah,
thought.
I was
Didn't you think
annoyed
he
with
was condescending to you or something? Is that what you were saying?
no, I think he annoyed me when he's like, "Haven't you ever dated or something?" I'm like, "Dude, I've dated more ass than you've ever than you can count on your fingers." I didn't like date once and get married the next.
You've had more ass on your fingers than he can count on his fingers.
Truly, yes. So I was kind of like, I think that day, that was a long day though, dude. Like that was on a Sunday, and we started early, and we didn't leave till like 6 or 7.
Well, because you guys were reading it and then we were recording.
Yeah, actually, I gotta applaud you. I really liked the Mickey Mouse one. I thought it was really good.
You enjoy. So you did listen to the Patsy Walker episode
Yeah,
then?
I thought it was
Okay,
really good.
that's my favorite. I love that one. I just you and Mac just bitching at each other is so perfect for that episode.
I have to applaud you because you have definitely come way from when we first started. Like I can really see you really starting to kind of mad professor the shit out of this stuff, like mixing stuff in there and sounds. You make the show very entertaining. Like,
Well, when I put
first
the effort into it, because the Patsy Walker I put a lot of effort into, the Hulk one I put a lot of effort into because
But
it was such a Frankenstein episode. But some of the ones we've done lately have just been like we're knocking it out just to get it out there for that week.
But see, the thing is, I've noticed the ones that I've enjoyed the most are the ones where you add all those nice little touches, those little sound effects. I never realized until you listen to one of our, I would consider one of our more boring episodes. When you listen to that, it just sounds like us hanging out and stuff. It's cool. But those, like, they have some production behind it. Like, wow, I sound really cool.
Well, that and the mixer helped a ton.
Really?
The show sounds so. I tried to listen to the older episodes, and it's like fucking. It's like on wax paper, It's like on a fucking 78 being played with a dirty needle. We sound so bad on those.
I know we were just coming into our own.
It was the early days. We're kind of winging.
Yeah, I mean, dude, now the setup you got now is fantastic. It's so relaxing.
Yeah. I'm glad. Well, yeah, and you like just reclining and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's cool. Yeah, the other ones, like I said,
because I'm planning on buying a chair for upstairs, so that when we do record upstairs, you can still recline and relax. Mostly because I like when we try to do the thing where we were doing the high chairs and stuff, I could see you shifting the entire time.
Oh, that was so
terrible.
uncomfortable, dude.
So I didn't want you to have to deal with that.
Yeah, that shit was so uncomfortable. And I won't lie, that will affect my performance. Yeah. If I start getting crabby.
Yeah, a fucking wooden chair up your ass, I could see where that affects. And
well, yeah, but you start getting crabby and you don't really want to like.
You don't want to participate under those circumstances.
It takes away from the thing that I guess you wanted to put on recording was us, all those years of us just hanging around bullshitting for hours and hours and hours. And it's kind of cool that people find it entertaining. I've known you guys for so long. It's just, that's normal.
Well, that, and I listen to, one of the reasons why we gravitate toward each other is we keep each other's interests, and we're not people who suffer fools gladly. So when I listen to some other podcasts where they don't have that interplay, where they don't have the kind of relationships we've got, it's just hard. It's hard listening to guys just like stumble on like basic social stuff because they don't really know each other. They're because a lot of these guys, they're just on the internet. They're like guys who found each other on the internet. They don't know each other. They don't have stories. Nobody's bailed anybody else out of jail.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
So it makes a big difference to have gone through the stuff we've gone through. And also, we go off and we meet other people, but we always come back together. And one of the reasons for that is because we love each other and we are entertained by each other so much. Yeah. And I think that comes across. Oh, by the way, one of the reasons why I'm tired, I tried to get to sleep last night and it didn't work out. And I was flipping through cable channels in the hotel room. You and I, when we talked last time, I brought up, or somehow Kevin Smith came up. And I was talking about Kevin Smith being like a geek representative in pop culture and yada yada. And you were pointing out how he's really pretty shallow in his geekery, right?
Yes.
And I've never been a huge fan of the guy. I'm not, especially as a comic book writer, I don't give a crap about him. As a filmmaker, mostly I didn't care, but because so many people I knew had an affection for at least some of his work, I got exposed to a lot of that stuff. But I remember the one time I went to San Diego Comic-Con, the people I'd gone with were like intentionally trolling or considering intentionally trolling Smith. Well, they wanted to, but it turned out to be such a nice guy they couldn't bear to like actually be a dick to him. But so you were talking about that, and I didn't like the original Clerks. I did like Clerks 2 the one time I saw it theatrically. And then as I was putting stuff together last night, like starting to pack, the movie started coming on, and it was in color, so I was like, oh, this must be Clerks 2. So when he opens up the gate, it's going to be on fire, because that's how they end up going to the restaurant they work at. And when that doesn't happen, I realized, wait, that opening sequence was in black and white, and the color comes in with the fire. Oh, this must be that third one. And so I sat down to watch the Clerks 3, it's not a particularly good movie, although most people acknowledge that Smith's later movies aren't very good anyway, and they're very targeted. But what was amazing to me watching it is there were so many geek references that are so your grandmother knows them. Like there's so much stuff where like he's so specific that he barely references Star Trek at one point before segueing back into Star Wars, because his breadth of fandom doesn't even really extend to Star Trek. It's Star Wars, and it's only the most mainstream stuff. He's not referencing the books. He's not referencing the cartoons. It's like the movies, The Mandalorian, and it comes up over and over again throughout that movie. And especially when you mentioned it to me watching it, it's like, you were totally right, man. This guy is extremely basic in his fandom. And he's clearly tapped what he had to say. Like, he's run out of things to say at this point. So he has nothing to say about our culture anymore, and our culture, I think, has progressed past him. So I just wanted to acknowledge that you had a beat on him earlier on.
Well, it's good to hear. I mean, the podcast, his podcast was the thing that made me realise, like, he's a whole podcast about Batman, but it's again the most sort of obvious take on Batman and just wrong stuff. But my favourite thing that he's written, and I am like, full disclosure, I'm a friend of Duncan Fagredo, and I loved his work before I knew him. But that Jay and Silent Bob miniseries that he did was the best thing I think he's written at all, and I think it's also the best directed because it's drawn by Duncan Fagredo. But have you read that?
No, I think that was. I think I was still a retailer when those were coming out, because I think I remember that he did painted covers for that, didn't he?
No, he did a painted cover for issue 4. Okay,
I seem to remember, because I know his style. You know, just as soon as you mention his name, I'm picturing what his books look like. Mostly Vertigo stuff, obviously. And so I thought I could picture a image he had done of them. And then the interiors were black and white, as I recall, right?
That's right. And
that was Oni?
Yeah, it was Oni, because they published a few Kevin Smith early sort of things. They published that Matt Wagner comic. It was like a Matt Wagner quick stop story, and then Phil Hester drew a few of them. But the Jay and Silent Bob one bridges Chasing Amy and Dogma. So it opens shortly up. There's like a window in the Chasing Amy where the film begins, like they're in a cafe or a diner or something in Chasing Amy, and then there's a clear visual cue to the fact that, like, here's where the film cuts off. And then at the very end of it, they're in a scene that overlaps with how they appear in Dogma. So the film sits between the two of them, and it's like a road trip movie. But it's really excellent. I remember it as being funny. I must say I've not read it in years because it's just too wordy, but I pull it out and look through it once in a while because it's very pretty.
Yeah, that came out while I was still a retailer, and it sold really well for a black and white book from Oni. So big asterisk on the end of that. But I sold at least high single digit, into double digits on that one because there were Kevin Smith diehards that would pick it up. And you wouldn't necessarily have them be your weekly people. Sometimes there were people who were going shop to shop trying to find somebody who had it. And so we did have it. We did sell some of those. It was a good seller for its genre. But I don't, if I ever read one, I definitely read one. Like maybe I had a strip cover return or something, or I just was curious. But if I did read it, it's lost to my memory at this point.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fine. Yeah, if you come across all four of them sometime cheap or something, it's worth it for the Fagretto art because he really went to town on it. And Kevin Smith, I believe, owns all the art from it. But yeah, there's more stories there as well. But it's good Fagretto fun anyway.
Okay.
So what are we talking today? Shadowhawk.
Well, we can do it on whatever order you want, but I think probably the key one to do right now is Superman Aliens.
Super.
Yeah, because if at all possible, I'm going to try to get that out this week. If I can't get it edited and ready for this week, I'm going to have to figure out something because I'm going to lose my streak if I do. I've got until the end of the month to get my Aliens out, or I'll finally have broken my streak after almost 3 years. So this is the one thing I've been able to keep on a schedule.
Okay.
Sold for $600,000.
That's issue 328. Which one is that one?
Let me see if they'll show it. No. I
No.
don't have a picture of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, some of the key original art is going for a lot of Mignola stuff. You don't have any Mignola originals, do you? Or Mignola?
No,
I never know
no.
how to pronounce it.
No.
Yeah, some of that stuff is going for a lot of money nowadays.
God damn it. I had a chance at one point to have some of his Hulk artwork that he did. They were asking for like $400. And
Yeah.
I was like, I was so on the fucking fence.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's when I lived at home with mommy. So I'm like, I can swing this shit. But I was buying so much artwork at the time. I mean,
That was there in the heyday of
yeah,
eBay,
I remember
right?
I was buying fucking artwork like a madman, which is weird because nowadays I don't see anyone really selling it anymore. I guess
think-
because all digital.
You were selling the original artwork?
Yeah.
I haven't really looked. I think
I've gone on websites and it's all.
I think part of the problem is you don't see the eBay stuff as much.
No.
I think that they're going through dealers because they make more money that way.
That's true.
Like eBay was like a fire sale for a while there before the values were set,
Yeah.
and now they realize they can make more money than eBay was getting them.
I mean,
And
I
so they
still
tend to go through dealers.
I mean,
now.
I do have some. I have a Kevin Maguire Superman. I have a Wallace. What's it, from the Image?
Wallace?
What's his name? Did the X-Men?
Will's Portacio.
Will's Portacio. I actually have a great page of his where it's Colossus, Wolverine, Psylocke. Like that's one of my favorite pages. Of course, my Doug Monkeys, my John McCrae's.
Yeah. You got a sequence, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, I have the last 3 pages of the Demon series, which I still love the fact that I own the last 3 pages of the Demon series. I still have the page you bought me with John Jones.
Okay, yeah. Was that a monkey?
No, dude, no. It's John Jones as a detective.
I don't even remember.
You bought me that from the convention because I was when you went to that convention. I was really big into art.
Yeah.
I had slowed down on the comics and I was all about. I have a Texair.
Texiera? Yeah.
Texier. I have one of his, a Wolverine and Sabretooth battle.
Yeah. I think I remember that. I think it's from the Sabretooth miniseries, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember buying you a page.
Yeah,
though.
I have a Gene Ha, a double spread from that Oakton, or what was it? Oaken?
Top 10.
No, not top 10. Shit, I wish top 10. No, the book where he's
Octane?
Octane.
Yeah.
I have the double spread of the Octane,
Which was written by convicted child porn peddler Gerard Jones, unfortunately.
Oh, fuck. Well, I'm never getting money back on that one.
It's still a Gene Ha. I think you'll be okay.
Well, it's a double page. And then I do still have my personal favorite, my Evan Dorkin personally drawn Milk and Cheese Running at You.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
We've done that show already.
I love that one. Let's see. I haven't bought any artwork in a long time because I can't. Dude, when we went to that convention, I asked Kyle Hot, and I do have a Kyle Hots. I have a couple of Kyle Hops. And remember, I told you, I wish I had taken him with me so I could have got him signed. But he doesn't sell his original artwork anymore. He says you got to go through a website.
Yeah.
I went on a website and he's asking for fucking like stupid money.
Yeah, wow.
I bought my pages for like $50, and the cheapest page I saw, and these were just like unknown comics for $150 to $200. So I was like, eh. And then of course my Eric Powell, I got Eric Powell and then that personal artwork. My personal Delkiones. I have several Delkiones.
Yeah,
which I
that's.
think. You think those are worth money?
Fuck yeah, that's gonna be worth some. The original artwork.
Yes, and the cool thing
You
is
saw we went to that Wonder Woman art auction. You saw that one. What did it end up going for? Several $1,000s, wasn't it?
Which one?
The Delkion sketch cover, the Wonder Woman one. They sold it at Bedrock City at the auction.
I thought it was like $1,200.
I think it got higher than that.
Really? I remember you were bidding on shit. I'm like, dude, stop bidding, you asshole. These people are
Well, yeah, they were serious.
monsters.
I tried bidding on a few. The Delkion was one of them.
Yeah.
And I think my number, I might have been willing to go as high as 1,000. I think I might have, and they blew right past that.
Oh, yeah,
no
I remember
problem.
that.
I want to say they got, I don't know, I'm sure it's on a website or something. I want to say they did higher than 1,500 though. I think it was, I think it got
Maybe 2,000-3,000?
higher. I think so.
I think the three hot. I think the Delkion was one of the high ones.
4 is what's going in my mind. I keep thinking 4,000, but I don't want to oversell it. But that's the number that's in my brain. So maybe
And
that's what
just
it
a
is.
sketch. A
Well,
Wonder
it's
Woman
pencil
original.
art. It's
Yeah.
pencil art. I wouldn't call that a sketch. That's a fully rendered tight pencils.
Well, 'cause the one
elaborate wraparound.
I have the. It's the.
and it's he never draws Wonder Woman, so
Yeah,
it's like that's like if you want a Delkion Wonder Woman, that's pretty much your option. Buy the sketch cover. You know?
Well, the cool thing about
they reprinted it in that book though. They do those projects where they reprint all the sketch covers.
Well,
I've got that.
this was all going to a charity too.
Yeah,
wasn't
it goes to the hero actor. Yeah.
But like my deal,
The Hero Initiative. It used to be called Actor, and they turned it into Hero Initiative. But
the-
it's for retired comic creators, like a resource fund for them.
my Delkions actually have sketch work on the back of future characters where he was kind of practice sketching them on the back of those. I have my. Damn it, I was going to bring it. My Mike Zex Punisher. The one that has water damage that I got dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't remember them all now. I didn't pull out that book. I haven't looked at it.
Did you get the Zach signed?
No, I'm telling you, dude.
And he's been to town a few times now.
But he's not going to sign this one, dude. It's like.
Yeah, why would he not sign it? Yeah. They charge. If I remember correctly, they charge for signatures. So if you're paying them, they'll sign whatever the hell you want to.
That's true.
I got Jim Steranko to sign the remains of an ancient comic book that like most of it had fallen apart. There's like a few pages still stapled together. He still signed that. So
Gone, can you sign right over my nipple, please? I'm gonna get it tattooed, country style.
Voted for Trump.
Did he? Oh, dude, quit ruining my fucking heroes, you asshole. Dude, you're such.
That's why I haven't brought up Steranko lately because it's like I just try not to think about that.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe he's a convert. He'll come back. He'll come back.
Yeah, well.
Oh, that's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to talk to you no more, dude. You kind of destroyed some of my hero worship today on multiple fronts. Like, I just want to go roll up in the corner in a fetal position, just kind of let this day wash over me.
I have a dear friend. She's got Alzheimer's now, and we take care of her. She is a librarian. Now, most people think librarians of being down there at the library. But a smart librarian might be working for an engineering company or a law firm or an architectural outfit. And they make a whole lot more money than people at the library. She's got about 7-8 years on me. Just the mere fact she was a woman with a graduate degree from UT, it says a lot. In case people don't know it, they used to make women prove that they could swim well in order to get their degrees from UT back in the 60s. So
I don't. If that's a joke, I don't get it.
It is not a joke.
So what was the rationale for that? Gatekeeping? Is it like poll taxes?
I was in college in the 70s, okay? The rationale was, I think, is to keep women out of business.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was you know? And the whole idea that a woman could be smarter than a man was just too much for people back then.
Yeah. So it's basically African American comes to the vote and they hand them something in Chinese to dissuade them from voting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, in any case, it's just like you never met her, but I had a great aunt, and I tried to introduce you to her and give you pictures of her and tell you she was a businesswoman in the 50s and the 60s. Mm-hmm. You know, actually you could say she was a businesswoman in the 30s, mm-hmm. but she was doing things women weren't supposed to do.
Well, I mean, but that's something we're kind of used to. I think that our family has always been drawn to strong and exceptional women. It's like your grandmother, my great-grandmother was doing...
You can say that's one of the similarities between us. We were both raised in matriarchal families, where the head of the family was actually a woman.
Yeah.
And of course, you didn't know the old family. You couldn't because most of you knew the only one you knew was your great grandmother.
Yeah.
Okay, but that should give you you remember when she was blind with one leg and still doing dishes and trying to cook.
Yeah. And still running the household.
There you go.
Yeah.
And she was the matriarch.
But she was also a business person in the 30s, and she was doing criminal investigations and stuff.
She spent the 40s and part of the 50s in a hospital with tuberculosis. But she was basically a detective in the 50s and the 60s and was still working in the early 70s.
Sorry, wrong pipe.
She traveled all over the country doing undercover work in every kind of store you could imagine. She called it, she was a professional shopper. But basically, she was looking at everything. Shoplifters.
People at the till.
Yeah, people at the till that were getting money, There was all kinds of, because it wasn't computerized back then. And so, somebody, they could hit a key and open the register and never ring it up and pocket the cash. But the whole idea was stores back then. They didn't have they didn't have all the systems they have today to keep track of things, so they had to hire a company to come in and audit them. And what Granny did was she went in there as a customer and acted like a customer, which she had to act like a customer in such a way they wouldn't think that she was suspicious, and she traveled all over little towns, big cities, doing, things that were big at the time. Nowadays, people don't even think Sears was a mammoth deal. They made Walmart.
Sears was omnipresent, whether you had a physical Sears or you were ordering from the Sears robot catalog, like virtually every purchase in this country for decades was
one
through
of the
Sears.
things that Sears was Amazon before anybody would even have thought of an Amazon.
Right.
Why the hell didn't they survive? They should have been able to slap Amazon on the ass and kick them out the door. They were doing that shit when I was a kid.
And that's one of the things that kills me about current retail. It's like with all these major retailers, with all these physical locations still available as a home base to be shipping and everything, why they still haven't tackled Amazon decades into their dominance? Why haven't any of these organizations ever formed some sort of partnership to combat Amazon or use their resources? Somebody like Walmart's the closest, I would say, to being able to actually tackle Amazon, but they're nowhere near.
There's just specialties like LL Bean and stuff that give Amazon a run for their money.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. They're so much smaller of the market share than Amazon's not even close. But like a Walmart and a Target, places like that could, because of their infrastructure, and they just don't.
I'm not disputing.
It's like they're ceding the marketplace to one monopoly.
Being somebody that has learned to make the internet their friend.
Yeah.
You just saw me ordering car parts for my ride. Okay. But back in the day, I would have gone in the super shops and just bought it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you.
And it would have had been ordered. I'm telling you, it would have had to be ordered. But I would go into a shop to do it.
Yeah.
And now I can look at every shop in the United States doing business practically and get whatever deal I can make.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of times the big ones, and there is, see, Amazon isn't really in that business. Nothing that's on my hot rod came from Amazon.
Yeah.
Because they don't sell it. They don't carry it. And I don't think they're ever going to really get there.
Well, and Max the Car Guide, he's gotten some stuff through Amazon, but I know he has to go outside of their networks to get most of his stuff.
Anything he's getting from, the only thing I get from Amazon for my car is my car covers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I can get the best or same price as I would for me. And that's the other thing. Amazon and Walmart are in competition where the price is.
Yeah.
And I will get it, if it comes down to that, I'm going to get it from the one that's the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to have Walmart ship it to me. I'm going to have them ship it to my store most of the time and pick it up there.
And that's actually one of the problems I have with Target is I'd like to throw them some business, but they are in no way competitive on pricing. Anytime anytime I try to check anything with a place like Target, it's $5+ more than anybody else. It's ridiculous.
But also, I bet you're not checking your local store.
What do you mean?
Well,
I mean, I shop at a physical location. I'm talking about though, if I'm looking to have something shipped, if I'm looking to find a purchase online, and if I look at like a Target or some of the other online places, and it usually comes down to Walmart or Amazon, neither of whom I really want to throw my business to, but they're the only ones that are really in competition with one another. Everybody else their shipping's too expensive, the item is too expensive, they don't offer any kind of good deals, they don't have the selection. There's just so many strikes that I basically just have to be taking. If I buy from them, I'm taking like a moral stand or something, because it's not something that's sustainable, because people will not pay the prices just to say, oh, well, I got mine from this place instead of going through the monopolies.
You're getting into this philosophy when I'm just talking about buying something.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing though. You're talking about how most people would do it, and that's why I don't understand why these companies think that they're going to stick around if they're not competitive with the people that are taking their business from them.
Well, I think everybody's trying to find their place.
Yeah.
But a lot of people won't check their local store. I have bought stuff at Walmart that I didn't even know was on the shelf at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to order something and discovered, and the Walmart in the little town that I live in is, like 60 size Kmart.
Right.
And they had exactly what I needed for less sitting on their shelf.
Yeah.
And when I went to go in the store to get it, it still took me a while to figure out where it was.
Yeah.
But in the case of Target, like you're saying, Target a lot of times is competitive to Walmart on certain items. Back in the day, they were always competitive when it came to something like a DVD. On my carport right now, just like with everything else in my life, I can't use off the rack. I have to build it myself. One of my hobbies is I'm a cyclist, and I decided to buy an e-bike, mostly because of my health. If I get out somewhere and I discover physically I'm not going to be able to get home, I need that e-bike to get my butt home. But I didn't want to build. First off, they're outrageously expensive. They're just now coming down in price. My e-bike's faster than most e-bikes. I built one with bigger wheels for one and a much more powerful motor. Now the e-bike part of it, the wheel with the motor and the battery, I bought off Amazon. The bicycle used to be my training bicycle, because my road bike's very expensive, and it's also now it's a collector's item. It was a collector's item when I found it. So I wanted to buy approximately the same weight with the same feel to practice for when I rode my road bike in one of the rides. That way I'm looking good at all times. My bike's not all getting worn out and beat up. I want that bike. That's my show bike, when I want to look good. So you have a bicycle that you train with that's more or less equal to, at least in the way it rides. But I bought that bike at Target, and I got it for $30 less than the Walmart right down the street. It was in this town.
Well, I do think that's an instance too where Target's just knowing the demographics. I think the demographics for an e-bike would be better skewed.
No, it was just this bike's a swim.
Okay.
And it was just a regular.
I mean, honestly, bikes in general, though, I think would be maybe more of a Target demographic. Health conscious,
Walmart
sporty
probably
stuff.
sells 100 times more bicycles than Target does.
Okay.
But they carry a lot of the same one, and that was the case in this one. But I discovered it online, because this was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I discovered that Target had this bike, and there was one at the local Target. It's like I hardly ever go to home. There's been times I live at Home Depot.
Yeah.
I can find stuff at Home Depot online and discover exactly where it is in my local store, or if my local store even has it. I don't have to go looking for it. I know it. And if their quantity is low, I can buy it at home and just go there and pick it up. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all on the same day. And I don't have to go looking up and down aisles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing at Walmart and the same thing at Target. You can go to that local local store and find it. In fact, you can do it with half-price book. But you got to know how to do it. You got to know what you're looking for. You have to switch. Like every time I go to one of those stores, I don't know why this is, but I have to set my home store every time I go to do that. Otherwise, he'll send me there. I'm looking at Michigan or someplace in Texas I've never heard of. Anyway, I got that bike $30 cheaper, and Walmart's price was good. Walmart price was better than everybody else, but at that time I got it $30 cheap. I got it like $70, you know. And now it's my e-bike sitting there ready to go whenever I need it.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't go shopping. It's like these Black Friday deals. They sit there and wait till they see it on Amazon. And don't get me wrong, your whole Christmas, we were talking about this, that's coming from Amazon. I just got lucky. Every bit of it was Black Friday's deal, and I wasn't even trying, you know. But Amazon does not. They're not that competitive on price.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not. Used books. I don't use them so much for used books, because even if you get a good deal on the book, the shipping's going to be $3.99.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can just buy it new from Amazon for the same price as the book and the shipping.
Right. Yep. I found that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes they are competitive. I have bought Clive Clester books that were cheaper than half-price books at them. In fact, the lowest price was on Amazon, and I got it on pre-order. And then when Amazon ships it to me, they rebate me even more money because it turns out to be cheaper than what I paid for. That's not always the case, though. Sometimes they're the high. You know, in fact, I was in Walmart one day. I'd just been looking at a book. I was looking at it online, and Walmart had it cheaper than Amazon had it, like by half price.
Yeah.
In fact, I found one in Kroger that was cheaper than that, way cheaper than Amazon. I think Amazon wanted $21.88 for the book, and I bought it for something like $7.59 in a Kroger store. And I wasn't even looking for books. I was looking for laxatives or something, and passed this book stand in this Kroger's, and there it was. I go, well, hell, I'm going to get that. That still doesn't have anything to do with 007.
Right.
We've been talking over an hour and we ain't even touched on it.
By the way, Paquita got an Oculus, and I gotta tell you, Beat Saber is a pretty good workout.
A what?
Beat Saber?
What is? Oh, that game where you like swing at shit.
Yeah. You will get winded. It's a workout.
An Oculus Rift?
Yeah.
I thought they discontinued that shit. Did they not? I know they killed one of them.
Just be careful not to get that eye gonorrhea that people were getting.
Eye gonorrhea?
Yeah.
Like sharing goggles with people?
Yes. People were sharing goggles at like Best Buy. They were getting like STDs in their eyes.
Oh, Jesus
100%. I would not have a community goggle that we should all be sharing. That seems like, it may not be super obvious, but now that you mention it, that is something that is a huge fuck up. Good Lord, people.
I remember watching a thing, and they're like showing these people like this horrific pink eye with like crust, and they're like, oh yeah, they traced it all to a Best Buy.
Well, I mean, you sweat in that thing too, especially if you're playing the games. Yeah, seriously, you sweat in that fucking thing. So I could definitely see where that'd be a potential conflict there. You wouldn't want to share these things, I don't think, too much. I mean, there's 2 people in our household, so that's about as far as I'd want to go with that.
And you already swapped fluids, so I think you're good.
Christ. Probably in and around the eyes, too. Good Lord.
You've taken your relationship to the next level. Eye swiping.
The Oculus level, yes. Okay, so before we finish up with this, let me head to the bathroom. Max got to go. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, hey, Mr. Fixdy, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bye.
Let's set up a day where we're going to go hang out somewhere. And,
a play date?
Like, at least see each other in person and not infect each other with all sorts of weird
COVID. My house would
vibes.
probably be the best for that, man.
My house?
Yeah,
Bro,
dude, you got that fucking man cave up there. We could be 6 feet apart.
Homegirl works 24 hours a day with other like weirdos. My kids go to school. This place is fucking creeping, crawling, all sorts of shit. It's creeping and crawling, bro.
I guess we could be 6 feet apart at my place.
I think we need to meet somewhere outside in public. Like I said, we can go to fucking park and sit on some park benches or some shit. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I went to a couple of comic shops today.
I went to Dimensions.
Really? So they're open right now?
They've been open, yeah. They're
I didn't know that.
open.
I would have head that way. Maybe I'll head that way tomorrow.
I took for the first time. We went and walked around. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, he thought it was cool. He wanted to touch everything. I'm like, yeah, dude, you can't really like just start going through long boxes when you're 5 years old. Like, you gotta relax, dude.
When I took the back section where they had like the alien and shit like that from what is it? The ET and all that shit. Oh, he was taking pictures of all that shit. And then when he gets
was freaking out. He was like, what is all this? And I'm like, that's an alien.
That was, dude, and then when I took him to the rock section, lost his shit, dude. He was like, I want to buy that. I want to decorate my room like this. I'm like, dude, you cannot. You don't have the money.
And you know, like the by the novels where there's like that waterfall coming down those like weird fake rocks on the ground on the floor.
Yeah.
You look down at the floor. It was like jumping from rock to rock to rock and everything like that. He thought it was awesome. He thought it was super cool.
We wanted to take a picture in the crime alley where they have like the tape on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to lay down. I'm like, get off the floor. Get off the floor.
Get off the floor. It's Seabrook. Get off the floor.
I need to go up there, dude. I'll probably go up there tomorrow and check it out. I haven't been there so long.
Yeah, I spent like $30 there. I gave him some cash. Yeah, I'm trying to round out. No, I mean it wasn't not busy either. But even then, you know, like I think they probably get a lot of looky-loos who never actually buy anything.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how. Just because there were people. At least, yeah, I went to the dollar boxes in the back, and I actually got a couple. I've been going through my Iron Man collection to see what I'm missing.
Yeah.
And they actually had some issues that I was missing in the dollar bins. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 issues that I needed. So yeah, I mean there was some decent stuff back there.
Hey, dude, where did you get? I was gonna ask you, where did you get that thing when you sent us that picture of the Iron Man fighting the Iron Man 2020?
Yeah.
That thing you used to hold up the Iron Man. Where did you buy that?
I got on eBay. It was like $5, and I got like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
But it looked like had better ones. Whatever the ones have are better.
Yeah.
So I'd ask where he gets his because they looked better than the one I've got.
Well, I think he gets mine like at Bedrock.
Yeah, like mine. If you don't position him just right, because the base is so small, it tips over. Where it looked like the one had like the bases were way bigger. Because
but he gets his through Mezco. Like they come with his figures.
Oh,
he buys Mezco figures and they come automatically with them. Yeah, and those are like considered the standard for the industry. Their stands are like the best ones.
Yeah, I want to say it was like $5 for 3 or 4 stands.
Okay. Yeah, because I have some figures. I'm placing them in my little man cave, and I was like, dude, that was pretty cool. That picture you sent us. I was like, dude, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. It was. I was like, why didn't I know these things existed? Like this shit's badass.
Are you gonna buy yourself one of those war machines?
Oh yeah, if I can find one. Yeah.
I'll let you know if I see one. I saw one, but I didn't know if you were looking for it or not.
Yeah.
Because fucking dude, it got me hooked now. Where I'm fucking building the Build-A-Figures, and I'm just hitting up different shops and finding all the little pieces and putting them together. Yeah, it's just something to obsess about.
Anything in particular you're trying to build?
Huh?
Anything in particular you're trying to build?
I'm almost finished with Sugar Man.
Sure, you like Sugar Man, right?
And yeah, they're just. And the thing is, I look because I guess right now Walmart and all them are hurting real bad, so they're just fucking liquidating anything like toys and shit.
Ooh.
Yep.
So they usually those figures are like $20 a pop, and they had them for like $10,
nice,
$8.
Yeah, like ours. Huh? So they were. So we have both the boys' birthdays this month, and my sister sent me a message about how they were blowing out of their Paw Patrol and PJ Masks shit for like $6. I got there, the shit was empty. Like, all gone. Dude, but you know what's really shitty is they have these huge sections at Walmart where it's like adventure guides, and it's like total just generic cheapo, like even like knockoff Hot Wheels. Like this shit is like, I'm like, I surely hope they're not weeding out all the name brand like semi legit toys for this, like even more, like, so all these toys are already made in China and Taiwan as it is. This shit is like knockoff of that shit. Like it's terrible stuff.
It's the byproduct of those other toys,
dude.
Wheels and shit.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible stuff, dude. Because my mom has gotten some for the kids, and I'm like, this stuff is awful. Like you put it next to a Hot Wheel, and you're like, good lord, like Hot Wheel quality has gone down the drain. This stuff is horrible, dude. Like the wheels don't turn anymore after like a day, and it's like you go to Walmart, and the section of that bullshit is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, no, like please don't do this. Like now, even like kids' toys. Now look, these kids play with these toys for like 3 or 4 days, and they get fucking tired of them.
Yeah.
But like the Hot Wheels, my kids fucking use a lot of, dude. And it's just like I feel like the Hot Wheel section is getting smaller, and they got this more adventure time toys or it's horrible. It's horrible.
Let's call them what they are, man. They're dollar store toys.
It is. It's like dollar store shit, but now it's all over Walmart.
I think what you've got is that most people who want nice toys are buying them from Amazon, and so the department stores are just going to carry the shit that they have a whole larger profit margin on and maybe have a stake in.
Well, no, told me that right now they're doing a sweep of their stores where they're restocking everything. So they kind of like stop restocking and just let as much shit go. Because I went to 5 different Walmarts just to find Marvel figures, and because some guy went online, he's like, hey man, if you go to Walmart right now, all their Marvel figures, no matter if they're brand new or old, are like $8 right now. And I'm like, bullshit.
But
so we went to one.
It's the same. Yeah, go ahead.
I went to one and I found a figure that I already had, and I checked. Sure enough, it was like $6.99. I'm like, holy shit. We go to the Marvel section, just wiped out. Dude. Everyone went to was just wiped out. There was nothing.
It's like Captain Marvels and like Black Widow movie toys and nothing else, and like Sandman and like Spy Master, and nothing else is. And like that, you can tell that it's like, because I walk through the toy sections all the time now that I have kids. I'm like, this is the same shit that was here last month. Like they're not restocking. They're like, this shit has got to be bought before we order any more stuff. That's totally right, Mr. I totally agree. I've seen the exact same shit. It's the same shit, except there was a Marvel that I should have bought. There was a Marvel Legends Marvel, and I never bought it. And that was actually gone last time I went. And I was like, shit, I should have bought it. Yeah,
okay, so check this out. So the guy I follow on YouTube, he's an old school collector, like our age. And he's like, you know, he's like, for some reason, he's just like, you know what? I'm going to give y'all a little tip that no one will give you. So he goes into a Walmart. Shelves are bare, right? He pulls the bottom shelf up, and there's fucking toys hidden there that people want to come back and get. And he's just pulling out toys, dude, like Marvel figures. But some of them are like from 2007. And he says that when he worked there, they knew about that trick that collectors would come in and couldn't pick up everything. So they would pick up that bottom shelf, put toys down there, put the shelf down, and then put toys on top of the shelf, like fill it up so no one would go down there. And so he says every once in a while when he gets bored, he'll pick. Dude, he did it like 3 times, and he was finding like figures from like 2007, like an $80 figure, and he got it for $8. He was like and I was like, oh shit. So me and Monkey went to a store, and I'm like, let's pull up the shelves. So we were trying to pull up the shelves, but employees are looking at you funny, so I didn't get I kind of chickened out. So I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm on the fence. I want to try that trick and see if it really does work. Like open up a shelf and there's all kinds of shit down there.
Interesting. I might give it a shot. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I had my kid with me, and I didn't want like be chastised in front of my kids. So I was like, nah, next time I'm by myself. But he's walking, he pulls up the shelf, and he starts pulling out like these Pokemon toys, and he's like, these came out in 2013. It's 2020, so that means they've been down there that whole time. And pulls out this Marvel figure, and he goes, this is an $80 Build-A-Figure in here because it's the Sentinel that they don't sell anymore. I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, he goes, I don't like giving out this secret, but it's for all my fellow collectors out there. I was like, oh shit, got to do that now.
That's not new. They've been doing that for decades. I was occasionally, I never did it myself, but I was aware of it. But I'm pretty sure if you lift it up today, you're just gonna find a bunch of like Trump inauguration news weeks and shit.
Didn't you hide a bunch one time?
Yeah, I did.
You magazines, you asshole. You
totally fucking did.
Grabbed the magazines and like threw them off in the back. Not even behind the shelf. I think he threw them like between the shelves or some shit.
Put it on Sam Walton's account, motherfuckers.
All right. Okay. I gotta go.
Okay.
Right.
You guys enjoy the rest of your show. Make sure it's a good one for me. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Anything else before I leave? I'm about to click the
I think we're good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Andrew R., Between the Pages blog, Billy Hynes, On My Way to Bluer Skies, Chris Dunford, Clay Svijdel, by a vowel, Dave Healy is Haunted, Del Dracula, who added, I still have all my shirts. Maybe they should go on to the eBay or whatever the hot used geek t-shirt market is. It was funny to walk back in my memories to a time when a shirt or anything else with a superhero on it was hard to find. Eugene R. Hendricks, voice actor, home studio, Gas, Irredeemable Shag, Jean-Bernard Francois, JMT Productions, Julia Raoul, Keith G. Baker, King Dinosaur, Michael, Relatively Geeky Podcast Network, Richard Field, Superbound, Talk Nerdy to Me, Twins Are Rising, Fighting Game with Rollback.
I think that's an episode.
Okay, good.
I'm going to stop it. One sec. We don't want away, motherfucker. My fucking headphones only work one ear at a time, you stupid motherfucker.
See, I thought Mongolian wasn't a bad word, asshole.
Well, in this case, they're literally quoting somebody, so it kind of makes sense under those circumstances, yeah.
Well, we're talking Mongolian.
We're talking Mongolian. Why are we recording that? Talking Mongolian.
That should be the intro.
Mongolian.
Oh, we forgot to bring up Dodgers in a... What century?
Well, I'm sure we'll have other opportunities.
So you want to watch the Breaking Bad TV show trailer?
Yeah.
It got released.
The movie trailer?
Yep.
Already? Jesus Christ.
It comes out at the beginning of October.
It comes out October 11th.
Yeah, how long have they had trailers up for the fucking Dark Crystal show that comes out in a week? That fucking trailer's been out forever.
I know. Yeah.
It's called El Camino.
El Camino? Okay.
Yeah. Fart fan on in there, man.
I'll have a clue.
So does this mean that Breaking Bad's going to stay on Netflix? That's it? Wow, legit.
It's like a teaser. It's the very first. I'm not even sure they were going to release this yet. You saw the way they fucked.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on Netflix first, and then it's going to move over to AMC. It's not that relevant. Y'all both have Netflix anyway. So.
The reason it got fucked up was because like it was still a code name. They didn't even know the name of it, and then Netflix accidentally put it up so you could actually add it to your queue to get added. And I think that was why they went ahead and just released this because like, okay, well I guess the jig's up now. We fucked up. This is like it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The one thing you forget about Breaking Bad too, the show is gorgeous, dude. The shot is the shots in this movie of the New Mexico landscape and stuff, so fucking beautiful, dude. It's really, I forgot how beautiful that show was.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, that's what we're watching now.
I'm gonna have to watch. I'm gonna start watching.
I mean, I'll watch the movie. Just I didn't like how Breaking Bad ended. I hate the ending of Breaking Bad. But if that gives some kind of coda that makes me kind of think,
the ending of Breaking
I hated
Bad.
the ending. I hated Walter White, touching his beloved fucking bats and shit. Like, fuck you, Walter White. You're a piece of shit.
The last season of Breaking Bad, he is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be, dude.
Walter White. No. The first 3 or 4 seasons, you can kind of rationalize some of the stuff he does and convince you that he's not a fucking shit human being.
Yeah.
By the time you get to season 5, he is a fucking terrible.
Yeah.
He is a full.
So the way you
worse
feel
than,
is exactly what they're trying to go, dude. I feel the same way.
Worse
That's
than
what I love
Gus
about
ever
it.
was. Worse than Gus ever was, dude. It's Jesse you fucking feel terrible for. It's his fucking family you feel terrible for. Although his wife isn't the most sympathetic character in the world either. But.
Well, she does buy in at some point. And, when she likes spending that money, too.
Yeah, when she's the car wash and shit.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's not, I agree with you at the end. I would have hated if they tried to redeem him.
Yeah, there was.
But then I felt like they kind of halfway did try to redeem him.
He cared more about the science and his name and the power. He cared more about that than anything.
Because they had a chance to walk away. Because remember that they do that train shipment where they hijack all that fucking shit. And then just sell that to the meth guys and just walk away. And that's when he explains the gray matter.
Yeah.
The gray matter company where he had a chance to take that company and it's worth billions of dollars. And he said he cashed out for $5,000 and this is his chance. He's not cashing out.
Yeah.
He's not cashing out. This is his chance to show the world how brilliant he is and how great he is. And
but
that's what he's going to do. He doesn't want $5 million. He wants a fucking empire to prove to everyone that to prove to himself.
But then he was a high school science teacher.
Don't take the buyout. And that's when you realize, oh, this guy's just completely up his own ass.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrible, terrible person.
That's why I like him.
He's responsible for everybody that fucking dies, dude, in the whole fucking series.
Dude, when he kills Jesse's girlfriend, dude, like just watching it.
That was
fucking brutal.
But then he poisons the kid.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get him to think, dude, like a horrible shit.
Fuck yeah. I remember that really freaked me out, dude, because I didn't think he did. And then he fucking goes
and it is like, but that's the thing. Like watching it again, I forget how much of like the little nuances I forgot that are really important. So I'm still sort of like, oh shit, that's what he was the one that did like, because they do make you think a little bit that Gus did it. That Gus did it to get him to turn on Walter, so then it's like, I can't fucking remember. Did Gus do it, or is this Walt fucking with him? It's like, oh, it's Walt.
Yeah, Walt fucked with him. I feel bad for Jesse.
Yeah, he just manipulated Jesse the whole fucking time. It's really jacked up.
And what you think is, when the beginning, when Jesse's pushing him around and calling him bitch and talking shit to Walter, you're like, oh man, like you feel bad for Walter because he's sick. And,
old sick man trying to get in the drug game. But really though, I mean, Walter has some of the most bad. I see why people like the reason people like him is like why they like Scarface. Scarface is like a good dude, right? But he's got just the say hello to my little friend when they meet those meth guys and he tells them and he's like, say my name.
Dude, I told you that was a cool scene. You told me it was fucking a fuck scene.
You're fucking. Where he looks at him and they finally says,
"Do you want to live a life without coke?"
No, that's not the scene I was telling you about where he's talking to Jesse about why he did it. I didn't, like when you just said new coke, no, that's not the scene. The scene where he tells you his motivation.
Yeah, he goes, "What's it's got nothing to do with it."
No, and then he probably says Heisenberg and he says, "You're goddamn right." Or when she was all like, I don't want to know who's going to be knocking on our door. And he tells her, I'm the one who knocks and shit like that. Like, dude, some of those lines are just like, it still is fucking badass. Because you see, Cranston is so good at having the old sick man face. But then when he puts the hat on and he turns into Heisenberg, the way his mannerisms change and shit, it's so fucking good.
What was the name of that, the guy that was doing the collections that had to drag Jesse with him one day?
Mike's character.
Dude, I fucking love Mike.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Everybody in this show is fucking. Saul is incredible. Mike is incredible. Gus is fucking great.
Well, there's a bunch of extra Mike stuff on Better Call Saul. It's one of the main reasons to watch it.
So he's popular on that show?
He's all on that show.
He's in like basically.
Okay, that's
well, it's starting in like the second season, right?
And the second season when it gets good.
Before in the first season when it's trash.
Because I only watched the first episode. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I had a few episodes in. It was pretty bad.
Well, the first episode was good because Tuco's in it, and people were like, oh, it's Breaking Bad. But then they moved past that real fast. But Tuco's fucking great. Like Jesse's Badger, his fucking lame ass crew are fucking really like hilariously dumb fucking assholes. All the characters in the show are fucking great. Yeah. And like, remember I told people who were shitting all over Walter Jr. Rewatching it, Walter Jr. is not nearly as annoying as people were. He's not fucking Carl from The Walking Dead, where you're just like, fucking somebody kill this kid. Somebody bite this kid so he can be off the fucking show. So people were trying to say like Walter was fucking annoying stuff. Walter Jr. is the voice of reason in this show and a lot of these episodes where he's just like, well, you two fucking like stop being dumb about this stuff. It's like, way to go, Walter Jr. But no, his wife is the only character that sometimes gets really fucking hard to root for.
I never think I kept this guy.
Nobody did. And people were saying like the actress was getting people like yelling at her in the streets. So.
Yeah. Well, but that's just it. That was some revisionist shit though, because they're like, no, they're trying to say Skyler was the voice of reason. Like, no, Skyler's the one who's cheating on her husband while he's dying from cancer. Skyler's the one who's
intentionally to spite him.
Yeah. Right, and also the one who's denying him sex when he's fucking dying. She's the one who's helping spend his money and put it and invest it and all this kind of shit. She gets into being shady too. It's just that he gets a whole level of shady that she can't deal with.
She was helping her ex-boss cook the books.
Right.
And then when he gets fucking fined by the IRS, she gives him $600,000 out of their drug money to pay for that shit, and then but doesn't tell Walter about it. Oh no, dude, but she also admits during the time, like, I'm now in this, like, I'm culpable, which is why she goes like all Saul's ideas to launder this money. She's like, no, we're going to do the car wash because it makes sense because Walt used to work there. So she'll go through these times where but then when she finds out he's fucking murdering people left and right, then she fucking shuts down again and goes. So some of it, like, you can kind of understand her mental breakdown. She's just not a good person either. She makes some dumb fucking decisions too.
I actually like that episode where Gus goes and deals with the cartel.
Oh, dude,
that was a great episode.
Aaron Paul is fucking amazing in that episode, dude. He's so fucking good. Because they take him to live in Mexico, and he's gonna just cook for them full time. And their scientist who is running their meth lab is all like, "Isn't he this world class chemist? Shouldn't he know how to do this and this and all this shit?" Like Jesse just starts capping on this dude and making him look like a clown. So, dude, I'm telling you, this show is so fucking good. The show is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's really, really, really fucking
good. There's just like there's scenes I remember. Like I still remember that scene where Jesse's driving and he's just tossing money.
Yeah, that was the last episode we watched.
All right, where he's like, he's so fucked up, he's just like chunking money out.
Jesse is like one of the most tortured fucking characters in all of TV, dude. Like, there is never a season where it ends. You're like, Jesse's gonna be all right. It's like fucking. Remember, dude, he starts going to the AA meetings to sell them drugs, like fucking fucked up shit, dude. Oh my god, there's some horrible shit in the show. And really, season 5 is like. This bad shit happens in fucking season 5. Like, you forget, like, when all the informants, they're all of Gus's men that have been in prison, they've been paying off, and then they cut the money supply off, and they're all gonna flip on Mike and Jesse and Walt, and he gets the fucking
the Aryan guy,
the Aryan Nation guys to call in the fucking hits, and they all have to be killed within 2 minutes of each other, and they're playing this like snazzy music montage as dudes just skip like gang knife, and there's fucking blood everywhere, dude, and they're slitting these dudes' throats, and it's just like this shit. Like, the other seasons are pretty graphic with some of the gross shit they do, but in this one, it's like fucking over the top, dude. We're just like, they're fucking killing children, and it's just, season 5 is fucking brutal as fuck. And again, Walt's the one calling all these shots. Well, that's why, he's full supervillain in season 5. Full on Lex Luthor shit in season 5. Whereas again, in the last one, he's like, ooh, he's kind of a cool badass, being a science guy in the drug world. No, season 5, he's fucking hot. Rocker.
I forgot where. Didn't they open up a Pollos Hermanos somewhere?
Yeah, they did like a pop up at one point.
I know you can like buy the shirts and shit.
I think they did a pop up.
Did they?
Yeah, like they actually were serving chicken and shit like that.
Which Gus is going to be in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I saw him. Carl Weathers and Gus and Werner Herzog. What?
They're all going to be in Disneyland. They're all
Ming-Na Wen's going to be in it too. She just got brought in. She's from Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Joy Like Cloud and a bunch of other shit.
I've never seen Oh, really? She's going to be a what?
I don't know what she's going to be, but she's going to be on the show.
Well, I saw the trailer to the not the trailer, the actors for the Eternals. Still not.
Nobody gives a shit about the Eternals. I still think what they're going to do is recycle their ideas for Inhumans that got killed off by Ira Perlmutter, like Perlmutter taking that shit to TV.
Yeah.
And they're just going to recycle their Eternals, their Inhumans ideas. So it's probably going to be the whole Game of Thrones thing like they talked about before. But just with more minorities, more women, you know.
Done correctly.
Well, we saw Inhumans. That was not the correct way to do anything ever. So,